So I want to do a little thing about border patrol checkpoints. And I recently went on vacation, and I had the unfortunate event of having to go through one of these, even though I never really went to the border or went over it. All we did is go to the beach down in Texas. And we were on our way back up, and we had the unfortunate event of going through one of these. Now, I wanted to talk a little bit on the rationale of Border Patrol checkpoints and even the ethics of it. The anarchist position put aside of we won't commit aggression against other people regardless of where they move from one piece of dirt to another. We can still derive even from the statist position that border patrol checkpoints are unconstitutional as well as unethical and are totalitarian in nature. Here we can see the difference, the correlation between Nazi Germany as well as Soviet Russia. Both of these positions are where you are moving from one piece of dirt to another on the border. And even in some cases in Soviet Russia, within the borders themselves, you would just randomly stopped and checked and to see if you have your papers or who you are or what you're doing. And as we see again, there's almost no difference. There's the border patrol. They'll come and ask you questions, get your ID, and even put tire spikes in front of where you're going to drive. Now, admittedly, in the recent years, Border Patrol checkpoints have done away with a little bit of these practices. You don't actually have to give them your ID now, because mostly for convenience and backing up traffic for so long. But they do require you to answer questions. Now, it's clear to see if you were to try to not answer questions that there would be immediate repercussions and there will be guns pointed at you. And there are video clips on YouTube that you can find where people are ripped out of their vehicle, tased, shot, and straight up murdered just at these checkpoints for refusing to answer questions. And it's pretty terrible. Now, in America, we have our Constitution. And I'll get to that in a minute, but there really is no difference here between these Border Patrol checkpoints and communist totalitarian have to know everything in your personal life. You have no privacy and you have no rights because they are constantly being violated. It's really is papers, please. Who are you and where are you doing and where are you going? Are you a U.S. citizen? What are you doing? This is what these Border Patrol checkpoints are. Now, in the Constitution, there is the Bill of Rights, the Fourth Amendment, the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and all these different things that you can keep private. You don't have to give these things unless there is a warrant or probable cause. Or in recent Supreme Court decisions, there has been a little bit extra expansion on reasonable suspicion, but they still have to articulate the crime in which they suspect you of committing. Now, in that case that they do suspect you, they have to be able to articulate that. In this case, you are within the U.S. border, and they'd have no grounds to believe that you are not a U.S. citizen. Now, here we can see in the Fifth Amendment, it's reiterated again, only you don't have to answer questions. And so even if they're not taking your ID, you don't have to answer questions according to the Bill of Rights here. No person shall be held to answer for a capital or otherwise infamous crime. So again, you don't have to say what you're doing, who you are. You can remain silent. That is essentially what the Fifth Amendment is. You are not required to be compelled or coerced into saying something that they want you to say. You don't have to prove your innocence because you are inherently innocent until the burden of proof is on them to prove that you are guilty of a crime. They have to have probable cause or reasonable suspicion in order for them to force you to answer such a question in the first place. This is just reiterated here in the Fifth Amendment. Now, again, as I've alluded to, these Border Patrol checkpoints are anywhere within 100 miles of the border. They are in the U.S. They are not on the border. You're not crossing a border. These are U.S. citizens that are going about their daily lives on the highway that are being completely their rights violated every single day going through these patrol checkpoints on the highways. And this is completely against the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Again, the burden of proof is on them to prove that you're guilty of a crime. And again, put aside the whole illegal immigrant, quote unquote, that you didn't kiss the ring of the king to move from one piece of dirt to another. Even if we were to put that aside for now and put our differences aside, we can both agree that this is a rights violation from a constitutionalist point of view, even if we're not going to go down the anarchist route. Now, even though this is against the Bill of Rights and everything, I had the unfortunate event of going through this. So please enjoy and leave your comments and critiques in the video description, and I'll see you all next time.
In a quarter, merge onto US 77 North.
Bunch of fascists.
Hi.
Hi.
Everybody a U.S. citizen?
Of course.
All right. How many you got there?
4 of us here.
How many you got?
Notice how he comes to my door and my window as opposed to going to the driver's door and shines a flashlight in broad daylight outside in the camera, even though he can clearly see inside the vehicle. Now, despite having multiple cameras on us beforehand and up and all these different angles, there's like 30 cameras you drive through when you go through here, he is upset because I am recording what he's doing. The hypocrisy levels are insane.
Four. Just 4 of y'all? Oh, cool. And y'all coming from Mexico today?
No,
Sir. No? All right.
We've
Great.
done it.
Now, here, my mother and the rest of my family decides to comply and answer questions. And you can do so voluntarily, that's fine. It is just a question. I will admit it is a question. But regardless, you have the right to not comply and be on your way unmolested. But if you were to do so, there would be things done against you in a clear act of aggression. Now, you can still do this just so you can be on your way, or you can do this because if you feel fear for your life, if you don't comply with what they do, it is perfectly acceptable, perfectly ethical for you to do so and comply with what they want. My point is that you can still be against what they do, and if you should be trying to exercise your rights more often, and I'll do that here in a moment.
South Padre at the beach.
Everyone's a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
I answered that already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How about you, sir? U.S. citizen?
Yes.
This my 4 children, or my 3 children. My husband's back behind
How
me.
you doing, U.S. citizen, sir?
I don't answer questions.
I'm sorry?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Just go ahead and pull over right there so that somebody can talk to you then, okay? Because I'm not going to hold up traffic. Right there on that red number one's fine.
Okay.
Head north to 77 North.
I kind of made him suspicious of you.
Sorry, I had to. He kept shining that light in my camera and he was being an ass.
He's a Mexican himself. I think that's funny.
The dad went on.
I'm telling you, they don't like being recorded.
You gonna upload that to the Discord server? Don't let him search you.
Can you not give
Lock
me?
the car.
Can you not dox me, please? Don't say my name.
I will. Mom, I would lock the car.
Hello.
Hi. They asked me 4 times if we were citizens. They asked him, and he refused to answer. So they've made me stop.
Simple question.
Yes, it is a simple question, Dad. But that's not the point. I still have the right to do it. And granted, my dad is the only one of my family that's not full anarchist yet, but even then he should understand the point that what I'm trying to make here. This is totally not right behavior. I'm sure he'll come around.
That's all they asked me. Are you a citizen? Yes.
Yeah, I asked
I
him.
could've-
I answered it already. I'd already answered it, and he said, "Is everybody in the car a citizen?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How many you got here?" I said, "4." And he said, "How many you got here? How many in the car with you?" I said, "4." And he said, "And you're all citizens? Is everyone in here a citizen?"
Actually, you should have asked him, are you a citizen?
Yeah, I should have flipped the script. My bad.
What gives you the right to ask me if I'm a citizen? You're a Mexican and wearing a...
All right. Shh.
Hey.
I'm
Well,
serious.
maybe he is. Maybe that's just his.
He's got the accent.
Merge onto US 77.
Well, so.
All right. Shh.
We have people that. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes. What's the problem?
I don't know. They just told me to pull over.
Okay. Is everybody a U.S. citizen? in
Yes,
here?
absolutely.
Okay. What about the ones in the back? Are they U.S. citizens?
They're my children.
They're your children?
Yes.
Where y'all headed?
All
ma'am?
three. We're going home to Missouri.
Oh, Missouri. Y'all coming from the island or something?
Yeah, we can't. We were at the beach.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Now, you might think that this interaction wasn't all that bad. Now, and admittedly, it was very streamlined. I was very happy with their pleasant behavior. However, pleasant behavior doesn't mean anything to me. You can be nice, you can be rude. I only care about whether you're actually threatening me with physical force if I don't comply. That is the thing that I don't understand. I want to reiterate again, one more time. These Border Patrol checkpoints are not on the border. They are within the United States, within 100 miles. We didn't exit the country. We didn't go through a actual border. We didn't go through any customs. All we are doing is going from one piece of Texas to another piece of Texas, and we were still stopped and treated as criminals, as if we had done something wrong. And we had to answer questions, or they would threaten us with violence. This is not something that, even from a constitutionalist point of view, it would still be seen as unethical. You cannot tell me that having these Border Patrol checkpoints and being done to U.S. citizens and presumed guilty until proven innocent, which is precisely the opposite of what this country was supposed to be. Now, admittedly, I don't care about the country at all. I would much rather have a complete voluntary society that has no aggression whatsoever. Zero. But even from the constitutionalist point of view, this is still an unethical practice to be done. And this is just the tip of the iceberg on the border, and I have different things to say than other constitutionalists, and I am not one. I'm voluntarist, but I know there are going to be a lot of people that would be in favor of the border. So with that, y'all have a good day, and again, leave the comments and critiques underneath. Y'all have a blessed day.